What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're having a good day because I'm having a great one. Now today we'll be talking about the pro setting of Overwatch and basically just wishing we were even close to as good as those guys. When you think of the pro settings, some of you might think Kefri, who's the god Widowmaker, or Shadowburn, who is known really well for playing Genji, maybe even Raxa, who's the #1 Hanzo, and personally I think of Seagull, who's known for a lot of things like Hanzo, Genji, and Soldier. But I also think of Valkia, who right now is the #12 Pharah. So obviously these pro players are a million times better than any of us Commonwealth players on the ladder. Almost everyone in the top 250 plays on a team of some sort, which means they don't get roasted in the chat for playing off-meta heroes. Now personally, the player I look up to the most is Valkia. He's a top 500 Pharah player, and one day I want to be as good as he is. There are other top 500 Pharah players, but why do I think of him when I think of great Pharah players? Well, that's simple. Valkia runs a YouTube channel where he actually gives out some tips for playing Pharah, and it's this kind of thing that makes me like Valkia more than someone who is the #1 or 2 Pharah. Now that was a lot of stuff that doesn't actually talk about what this video is titled for, but it lays the groundwork for why we like these players, which is more important than you think. So today I'm asking the question, does watching pro players actually make you better? First off, watching pro players obviously gives a showcase of what high levels of play are like. The strategies they use, the positioning they take up, what they're thinking, their target priority, ultimate economy. I could go on for ages, but this is all of the advanced stuff you see while you're watching a stream or a YouTube video. You might be thinking, we know all that stuff, you aren't teaching us anything new here. Well, here's where it gets interesting. You see, when you watch a pro player who plays the same hero as you, you're watching the complete mastery of that hero, and something you might not realize is the amount of that person's playstyle that unconsciously rubs off on you. Now, when I was learning how to play Pharah, I was also getting a little bit more into the competitive scene, and this is right when I discovered Valkia and the world of pro play. Watching his videos was pretty interesting and taught me how to counter hit scans and other useful tricks. This is the type of knowledge you absorb consciously. You make an effort to remember this and apply it until it becomes second nature. This is quite often a super easy thing to do, even if you have to rehearse the strategy a couple of times before you get it right. But what I mentioned before is something that's super weird and has to deal with the way we learn things as humans from other humans. This is about to get a little over the top in terms of talking about just a video game, but really it's applicable to any sort of skill that is developed over time. I'm going to use a small scale example to explain what's going on when you're watching pro games. Let's start by saying you have a group of, 100 or so humans in contemporary times. So there's one human named, Jeff. Jeff here happens to be really good at one specific thing that every human in the group is doing. In our case, it's playing, Widowmaker. I guess Jeff is Kefri in our situation. Now, the other humans are practicing and practicing to become as good as Jeff at what he's doing. Let's say, however, that there's one human who's thinking, hey, if I just watch what Jeff is doing, I'll understand what's going on better. This human is you, watching Kefri play Widowmaker. At first, you watch and think, wow, I can never be that good. But you keep watching anyways because it's entertaining and you like the way they play. Every day you keep doing the same thing that everybody else is doing, which is playing Widowmaker in our case, and you seem to be getting better a little bit faster than the other humans, even the ones who seem to be naturally talented at the thing. Eventually you keep watching and start to feel a connection with Jeff, who is doing the thing as often as you are, but is just better. Even though Jeff has no clue who you are, you feel like you know him, and with such you begin adopting his way of doing the thing. Just by watching, you're able to do things slightly differently the same way he does, and it makes you better than the other 98 humans who aren't watching Jeff. Because you're slowly understanding the way he does things more than other players are, you become almost like Jeff but with a slightly different style, making you good but not quite Jeff. Now, that was a super long and weird explanation using a small example of other people who are trying to master Widowmaker by learning from Kefri, but of course you would multiply the numbers and find maybe, 10 great Widow players, and somewhere around 850,000 people trying to play Widow, but only 85,000 are watching Widowmaker streams every day. The main point is that you will start adopting the techniques and playstyles of those pro players the longer you continue to follow them and watch them play. But what about watching how the team plays, I hear you saying from your screens? Well, if I'm gonna be completely honest, watching a pro team play will not make you any better. You see, the only thing you can control as a player is your own actions. You might be able to influence the actions of another player to wait to use their ult or move to a position that's better for the situation, but the only person who can determine how well that player is playing is them. No matter how many team engagements you watch and how many you rehearse in your head, you can't spread that knowledge to your teammates on the ladder in the span of a competitive game, and certainly can't use it to the fullest potential. However, you can practice and refine your own mechanical skills by learning what the pros do to be as good as they are. So basically, this solves the question, does watching a pro player actually make you better? In a way, yes, it does. Watching a pro player playing a specific character that you are also trying to get better at will naturally make you a better player because you're learning from watching them play. Even subconsciously, there's something going on in your brain while you're watching. To recap what I mean, watching someone play well will make you better than figuring it out yourself. But also, watching an entire team play, like in a tournament, will not make you a better player overall. I hope this video was useful to some of you debating whether it's worth the time to watch pro players stream in order to get better. Tell me your favorite pro players down below if you have one, and I promise I won't roast you if it's a Hanzo player. If you found this video useful and want to see some more tips videos, I have a playlist of them, but the older ones have poor audio quality, so I don't exactly recommend those ones. Of course, if you liked or disliked the video, don't forget to leave a rating, good or bad. If you loved the video and want to see some more in the future, don't forget to subscribe. I'm uploading every 2 days this summer, so you can expect more videos really soon. With that, this is Carter signing off, and as always, have a fantastic day.